The gym floor at Cole Dynamics Training Center smelled like fresh mats and ambition. 6 candidates had already cycled through the ring that morning, each one trying to earn a contract to train the company's executive protection staff. Each one had lost to the same man. Bryce Kane stood in the center of the mat, adjusting his wraps without even looking up. He hadn't broken a sweat. His record at these tryouts was 7 wins, 0 losses, and he wore that number like a title belt. On the mezzanine above, CEO Vanessa Cole watched the matches with a tablet in one hand, unimpressed. Her company had just landed 3 new corporate clients who wanted in-house self-defense training for their executives, and she needed instructors who could actually teach, not just win. Her security director, Frank Delgado, stood beside her, arms crossed. "That's everyone on today's list," he said. "Bryce again. He's dominant," Vanessa said. "That's not the same as being good at his job." Frank shrugged. "Dominance what's on paper." Just then, the gym's side door opened. A man in a plain gray t-shirt and jeans walked in, holding the hand of a little girl with a backpack shaped like a ladybug. She looked around the gym, wide-eyed, clutching a coloring book to her chest. The front desk assistant blinked. "Sir, are you lost? Daycare pickup is next door." A few candidates near the water station laughed. One muttered, "Bring your kid to a fight tryout. That's a new one." The little girl tugged her father's sleeve. "Dad, why are they laughing?" Ryan Kessler crouched down to her eye level. "Because they don't know what we know yet," he said. "Remember the plan?" Zoe nodded seriously. "Sit in the corner. Color. Don't interrupt. That's my girl." He kissed her forehead and stood, walking to the front desk without a trace of embarrassment. "Ryan Kessler. I'm on the list for the trainer tryout." The assistant scanned the sheet, surprised to actually find his name. "Oh yes, here you go." Frank came down from the mezzanine to meet him, flipping through a printed application. "You listed defensive tactics instruction, combat medic training, and hostage de-escalation certification. No unit info, no citations, nothing about rank." "Wasn't relevant to the job," Ryan said. Frank studied him for a second too long. "You know who you're up against?" "I do. He hasn't lost once." "Neither have I, technically," Ryan said. "I just haven't had a reason to try very hard." Frank didn't know whether that was confidence or nonsense. He walked away unsure which. A gym employee offered to sit with Zoe at a small table near the vending machines, sliding a juice box and crayons toward her. Zoe waved at her dad. He gave her a thumbs up before rolling his sleeves up and stepping onto the mat. Bryce sized him up and smirked. "They're really scraping the bottom today." "Probably," Ryan said. The referee called both men to the center. "This is a controlled evaluation. Strikes are light contact. I stop it when I see a clear advantage." "Understood." Both men nodded. The whistle blew and Bryce came in fast. A jab crosshook combination meant to end the match in the first 4 seconds like it always did. Ryan wasn't there when it landed. He'd shifted his weight a half step to the left, letting the combination sail past his shoulder. Bryce reset, more careful this time, testing with a low kick. Ryan checked it without flinching and didn't counter. He was reading, not reacting. On the mezzanine, Vanessa leaned on the railing. "He's not even trying to hit him. He's making Bryce spend energy," Frank said slowly, watching the pattern. "Waiting for him to overcommit." Took less than a minute. Bryce, frustrated that nothing was landing, threw a wide, committed hook meant to finish it. Ryan caught the wrist mid-swing, redirected the momentum, and used Bryce's own force to put him on the mat with a clean, controlled trip. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't loud. It was over. The referee crouched down, checked Bryce was fine, then stood and raised Ryan's hand. "Winner, Kessler." Silence. Then a slow, uncertain applause that grew as people realized what they just watched. Bryce sat up on the mat, more stunned than hurt, staring at the man who'd barely thrown a punch. Vanessa came down from the mezzanine herself. The room quieted as she crossed the floor and stopped in front of Ryan. "Where'd you train?" she asked. "Places that don't show up on paperwork," Ryan said, picking up a towel. "I taught people how to keep other people alive. That's all I ever cared about doing well." Before Vanessa could ask a follow-up, the building's PA system crackled with an alert. A staff member burst through the gym's double doors, out of breath. "Ms. Cole, the executive floor." Security feeds showing 2 unauthorized individuals near the boardroom. "Elevators are locked out." Frank's radio hissed with static instead of a response. "Comms are jammed." Panic rippled through the gym. A few candidates edged toward the exits. Vanessa's face went pale. "My board is in that meeting." Ryan was already moving, grabbing a protective vest off the equipment rack and tossing it to Frank. "Lock this gym down. Nobody follows me." Frank blinked. "You don't even work here yet." "Then hire me after," Ryan said, and he was already jogging toward the stairwell. Zoe looked up from her coloring book, watching her father disappear through the door, completely calm. The gym employee sitting with her whispered, "Should we be worried?" Zoe shook her head, head, coloring a sun in the corner of her page. No, he always comes back. Upstairs, the boardroom hallway was dim, the backup lighting barely holding. Two men in maintenance uniforms that didn't quite fit were trying to force the boardroom's electronic lock, unaware someone was behind them until it was too late. There was no dramatic struggle, just a controlled few seconds of movement, a disarm, and a firm hand guiding both men to the floor before they understood what happened. When the stairwell door opened again, Ryan walked out first, followed by a visibly shaken group of board members, unharmed. Two of Cole Dynamics security staff followed, escorting the two zip-tied intruders. Frank stared, radio still useless in his hand. You had them down before we even got the doors open. Vanessa approached slowly, looking at Ryan like she was reconsidering everything she'd assumed 2 hours earlier. I judged you before you even stepped on the mat. Most people do, Ryan said. Bag and boots don't scream trainer. They don't, she agreed, but apparently they should. Zoe came running across the lobby the moment she spotted him, ladybug backpack bouncing, and wrapped her arms around his waist. Did you get the job? Ryan laughed, some of the tension finally leaving his shoulders. I think I did. Vanessa smiled, the first real smile anyone had seen from her all day. You didn't just get the job, Mr. Kessler. You got the whole training program. The gym erupted into applause, not because he'd beaten their champion, but because when it actually mattered, he hadn't hesitated for a second. As Ryan walked out that evening holding Zoe's hand, past the same candidates who'd laughed at him that morning, nobody said a word. They'd learned the only lesson that mattered. The people least interested in proving themselves are usually the ones who don't need to.